Hey everyone, and welcome. We're diving right into the football fixtures for Friday, November 7th, 2025. And there's something really interesting going on today. Across continents, from youth leagues in Europe all the way to senior divisions in Asia, a surprisingly specific pattern is popping up. So let's get into it.
So, to kick things off, let me ask you a question. What on earth could possibly connect the U19 leagues over in Russia with a senior first division in Saudi Arabia on this specific Friday? I know, it sounds totally random, but trust me, there's a fascinating thread linking them together.
And here's the answer. It's a really clear and frankly surprising pattern of dominant away teams. Right across the board, different continents, different age groups, the big story for today's games is all about the visiting teams who are expected to just take control and find the back of the net, again and again.
Okay, so let's start building the case for this pattern. We're going to begin in Europe, where the youth leagues are just buzzing with attacking talent and, well, some very clear favorites. Our first stop is the Czech Republic U19 League, and this one really shows a stark contrast. On one hand, you've got Karvina's attackers, who've been absolutely clinical. On the other, Fastav Zlin's defense has looked, shall we say, vulnerable. It's that classic mismatch, a potent attack versus a shaky defense. And that points us directly to our predicted score, a 1-3 win for the visitors.
All right, let's pick up the pace a bit and head over to Russia for a lightning round. We've got a full slate of action in their youth league. And the predictions here? Well, they really start to hammer home our theme for the day.
Okay, so across these four games, we actually see a bit of a split. First, you've got two strong home favorites. Nizhny Novgorod's solid form at home points to a 3-1 win, and Lokomotiv Moscow's dominance on the ball should lead them to a comfortable 3-0 victory. But then, our pattern comes roaring back. Both Zenit's fluid attack and Krasnodar's super dynamic front three are predicted to nail that now familiar 1-3 away win. See what I mean? Now let's jump over to England's Premier League 2, where the dynamic is crystal clear. Stoke City have been just outstanding on the counterattack, and they're scoring goals for fun. Meanwhile, the hosts, Crystal Palace, have a bit of a habit of leaking goals. So it's really no surprise that the prediction falls right in line with our pattern, a 1-3 win for Stoke. So, we've seen this trend all across European youth football. But you might be thinking, is it just a fluke? Well, let's broaden our scope and see how this exact same pattern of dominant teams is playing out in the senior leagues, all the way from Asia to the Middle East. First up, we're in the Thai League 2. Prey United's biggest strength is their consistency. They've scored in 6 straight games. They're up against a Nakhon United side that tends to leave some dangerous gaps at the back. And for that reason, yep, you guessed it, we're once again predicting a 1-3 victory for the away side. Sometimes the analysis just writes itself. Over in Lebanon, Redi Abbasiyah are facing Al Ansar Club. And this quote from our source material really says it all. One of the most dominant teams in the country, with pace, discipline, and goal-scoring form. That is basically a recipe for an absolute demolition. The prediction here is a commanding 0-4 away win. And the pattern just keeps on rolling in Saudi Arabia's first division. Al Diriyah's attack is absolutely on fire. They've scored in 9 of their last 10 games. They're facing Al Baden, whose defense has been described as, well, leaky. It's that same classic matchup of a red-hot offense against a fragile defense, leading us once more to a 1-3 away win prediction. Finally, to round out our global tour, let's head to Bulgaria for an exception that kind of proves the rule, a really strong home team. CSKA 2 Sofia are predicted to win 3-1, and their key to success is the high press. It's this super aggressive tactic where they just overwhelm opponents high up the pitch, and it creates a ton of chances for them. Okay, wow, we've been all over the world, from youth leagues to senior divisions, and we've looked at a lot of predictions. Now it's time to connect all the dots and reveal the single biggest pattern of the day. So let's just ask it straight up. After looking at all of these individual matches, what is the one single unifying trend that stands out above everything else for this Friday's football?
And the answer is just one number. 6. Yep, you heard that right. 6 different matches. We're talking across 4 different countries, 2 different age levels, all predicted to end with the exact same scoreline, a 1-3 victory for the away team. Come on, that's not just a coincidence. That's a powerful trend.
So let's just boil it all down to the key takeaways for today. First, away teams are heavily favored. Second, if a team has a vulnerable defense, they are set for a very difficult day. And third, if you're just a neutral fan looking for some entertainment, you're in for a treat, because goals are the major theme of the day.
So, as we start to wrap this up, let's put everything together in one spot and leave you with one final question to think about as you tune into the games. And here it is, the entire day's slate all in one place. You can clearly see the outliers, right? Like the dominant home wins for Nizhny Novgorod and CSKA Sofia. And of course, Alan Sarr's commanding 0-4 prediction. But running through it all, there it is again and again and again. That remarkable 1-3 scoreline.
So, I'll just leave you with this final thought. The data, the patterns, they all point to a lot of clear favorites today. But this is football, right? Anything can happen. So the real question is, which one of these heavy favorites is the most likely to slip up on a banana peel? That's the drama we'll all be watching for. Thanks for joining us.